back to 1010's podcast. My name is, of course, Michael, back with Rob Sponsibilities and a special guest host today. We have Adam Aiden Nelson, I think.
Adam? I'm good with Adam. Let's go with Adam.
Aiden Nelson. How are you doing, Aiden?
Oh, I'm all right.
Introduce yourself to
I'm
the
very
fans.
excited to be here today.
Is this your first time on a podcast?
I think it might be, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, if you could just speak directly into that microphone, that'd be great. Thanks.
What's that? Huh?
Yes, thank you.
Like this?
Yep.
Is this what you need me to do?
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks. Just keep
my hand in the between.
Yep, just keep doing that.
Yeah, fuck you all.
Robbie, are you still dying?
Yeah, but different now.
Different dying.
My bacterial infections are. I'm negative on all my cultures, so that's good, I suppose. Doctor said I'm fine, but then now I have this virus head cold. So
That's pretty dope, man.
Traded his bacteria, got a virus.
I went to the hospital and got sick
And
with
got a
someone
virus?
else's sickness.
Nice.
So I should have just stayed home and been fine. Save money, not get sick.
Done LS swap things.
Exactly.
Are you well enough to do an LS swap?
Oh, it's Black Friday. I'm so excited. Everything's on sale.
Well, that's different. Sitting at your computer and buying shit's different than...
Yeah, well, then
Digging
once they
in.
show up, then it's engine in.
Do you have that stuff like in your shopping cart, or you just got to click the checkout?
No, because most of the stuff doesn't have the page available yet. And the pages go available tomorrow, then everything goes live on Thursday night.
This is for your swap
see-
kit?
All the different parts from different sites. I'm not buying just a kit. I'm getting different things.
Oh,
from
you're
different
putting yours
places.
together?
Yep.
I got you.
Some people have really great stuff, and some people have really shitty stuff. So some people have really great things combined with really shitty stuff. And to get the combined
Parts that you need.
awesomeness of parts, I just want to go pick and choose where I get them.
I got you.
It's probably more expensive that way, but I'm going to get a lot more quality parts that way.
That's more important long term,
Yep.
especially if you can.
Yeah, so I've spent a lot of time deciding what I want, and now it's time to buy.
I'm so excited.
Word up.
Do you see that Fortune's running it up to 50% off, and your car is listed on it, Michael?
RX-7 is?
Yeah.
Fuckers. Should have waited. I didn't even need them. Thought I was going to need them. Oh, well.
Yeah.
So you got too many projects.
I do
That's
have
the
too many.
problem.
I do have too many projects. I will admit that.
You could have been sliding an RX this year instead.
That's
Actually, I didn't even really work on any of the projects. Nothing got done this spring.
I know how that feels.
Just doing podcast
We wasted
stuff.
an entire day trying to figure out how to put your car in a trailer.
That's
That's
true.
why you don't get anything done.
Right, exactly.
Stuff
'Cause of
like that.
stupid trailer. Oh, well. If it's in there now, the trailer's fixed. You could drive a car in it.
perfect.
You should easily be able to drive the RX-7 in it because I'm hoping that it's easier to pull in there than the Fiat is.
Yeah, I'd imagine it is.
Because that stupid 45-degree lip thing on the front of the Fiat, that's what screws everything up.
Not when you cut part of it off.
I know, that didn't even do any good when I cut it off.
It didn't help significantly, no.
Not as much as I thought it would.
Not enough.
Oh, well.
YOLO.
It looks better because I had run it into a different ramp before and taken a big chunk out of it. So
It's true.
when I cut that off, I cut that chunk out.
Nice.
So anyway, find us at 1010s Podcast on Facebook and Instagram, 10tenspodcast.com, at the number 1010s Podcast on Twitter. Our store is at our website. There is a link on there that says store, correct?
Yes.
Just click on that, and that'll take you to our store. We've got hoodies and other good things. It is that time of year when you should be buying things for your significant other.
I would say we're going to have a Black Friday sale, but number one, we're not. And number two, this is coming out after Black Friday. So
We're having a Black Friday sale then. Sorry you missed it,
sorry
suckers.
you missed it.
It was 50% off.
It was
everything.
50% off
Yep.
everything. But you're just going to have to get what you get now.
Yep.
Sorry about that.
guys.
If you buy something and email us about it, then we'll consider refunding it.
We
How
won't.
about that?
Nope.
We'll consider it, though.
Oh, well, think about
Robbie
it.
will
Yeah, we'll
consider
think
it.
about
We'll talk about
We'll
it
think
amongst
about
ourselves.
refunding the 50%.
Yeah, totally. No. I thought about it. It's not going to happen.
Robbie, that's not a good way to sell things.
Yeah.
You need to work on your sales attitude.
Robbie with a head cold, though, is hilarious. I
Thank
like
you.
Robbie with a head cold.
This is dark Robbie today.
It is dark, Robbie.
I have a weird sense of humor.
Yeah.
It's because my cold is...
You're a little bit
Taking-
witty and
You're
a
a bit
little
of a
bit dark.
Debbie Downer, frankly.
I'm not down. I'm up.
You're bringing me down.
I'm
You
up, man. I'm
were
great.
hurting my feelings before this started. Your microaggression is upsetting.
No, he's macro-aggressing.
I need
He's being
a
macro-aggressive.
safe place where where your words don't hurt me.
That's not here.
Clearly.
The podcast is not a place to be safe.
This is not a safe place.
This is not.
Yeah, if you are easily offended, you should shut your
Just get out.
podcast app off.
Find someone else. That parental advisory sticker is there for a
I think
reason.
anybody who's listening to us at this point is well aware that we're not necessarily the most.
This is not a safe place podcast.
No. If you're new to this, there's your warning.
Yeah.
What have we done since the last show? We watched a TV show.
Yeah.
We watched at least one.
The Grand Tour came out. Did you watch it, Robbie?
I did. I watched almost all of it the other night and then finished it this morning.
What did you think about it?
I thought they were trying too hard to be funny.
I couldn't agree more. The car sequences, great, on spot or on point, just as good as they always were. The in studio stuff, if you will, intent stuff, I guess, it was not good.
How dare you?
I said
How dare you,
it
sir?
wasn't. See, this is
How dare you, sir?
I was
Michael
dare
has
you.
the same blinders that everybody else has on. It's good because it's them. I don't
No.
care how bad it is.
I'm
It
sorry.
has
Did you
to be
watch
good.
the 23rd season or whatever of Top Gear?
no.
Awful. God awful. Terrible. Chris Evans, Mr. Screaming. That guy, remember him? Terrible.
Why are we?
Didn't watch it.
Why like?
Apples and oranges, bro.
Yeah.
No, I
Let's
just mean
let's
as
just
a car
look at
show.
the Grand
as
Tour
a car show.
self-standing by itself. It is what it is. The stuff that they were doing in there wasn't good. The dude falling out of the plane and stuff. They were trying too hard and it wasn't that funny.
I think it was mildly funny.
I was annoyed.
You were annoyed?
I was truly annoyed.
I'm with
Why?
Robbie on this one.
Because they're forcing jokes. They're like, oh, we got a celebrity, and then nope, he's dead. Oh, we got another celebrity. Oh no, he's bit by snakes.
Well, didn't you get that though? They can't do that bit anymore.
Yeah, I know. They were like, I understood what they were doing.
making fun of Top Gear.
Yes, because that's
Okay.
why they did the stupid celebrity brain mashup.
Yeah,
where-
that was a little
If
dumb, but-
if they actually have celebrities come in and do like the, what is that, like a?
The game show thing.
No, it's tested your reflexes or whatever, doesn't it?
I don't know what it did.
Any idea?
Well, if they actually have people to come on and do that, it's going to be
I realized
terrible. TV.
I realized it was a joke when they were introducing it and just didn't pay attention to what they were saying.
Yeah. So
I just don't think it added anything to the show. I didn't really care for it.
I think the difficulty is that you have to create a show that's the same but not the same and not get sued.
My assumption is that next week, so this Friday, is going to be a completely different show that has almost nothing to do with any of that stuff. They just introduced that as jokes. They made fun of it. They said, this is what it was. Now we've cut our ties. This is our show from here on out.
yeah,
I agree.
I'm sure they're
going
going
to
to
happen.
I think the next one I'm going to fucking love. That one I could take or leave.
I besides the forced comedy, everything else was, I thought, even better than the original Top Gear.
Yeah, the rest of it was great.
I thought the production value was like they're clearly spent money on this. They threw money at it. Their camera crew was on point. I think their track is pretty cool. I like
It is really cool.
I like the air quote on like the danger of what it could be if someone screws up.
The Ebola-drome.
Yep. So I like it. I'm hoping they do better bits. I don't know what they're going to do because they can't emulate Top Gear.
Yeah.
But so we'll see.
It's really hard not to, though. I mean, the way that they did that, it's hard not to emulate it.
Well,
what
it's
else
their
are you
show.
gonna do?
They wrote it. They wrote all the
Yeah.
bits. They wrote all the formats and stuff like that. So how do you do something different and not get sued? That's the problem, is they're going to be constantly being watched by the BBC, especially now that show's as big as it is.
Yeah, and the fact that they were already kind of trolling them and poking them, and
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to walk a fine line between is this Top Gear, is this Grand Tour, or like they're going to be forcing BBC's hand a little every time they do a show that has something similar.
I'm sure they all have to be watched by their attorneys first.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
They probably have to go through the scripts and say, you can't make this joke. This isn't okay.
Isn't the next season of actual Top Gear, isn't that set to release here in the near future?
I have no clue.
I don't either. I haven't heard anything about it. It's been really, but this isn't this time. That's this time of year. I
No,
think.
because the first one came out in April.
They kept changing it
for a
though.
while, or we'd been
'Cause
talking. We'd been doing this little routine for a while, hadn't we?
Yeah, so the first episode of last season, we were well into the podcast. So I mean, it's
I
probably
suppose.
April.
It probably won't be like
I just wonder how it's gonna fare because Top Gear as a show has never really had a competitor. When they were Top Gear,
Not internationally, no.
they didn't really have an international competitor. And now, what is Top Gear has a competitor. I wonder how much of a hit their ratings will take because of that.
I bet it's gonna be pretty substantial.
I'm more willing to watch Top Gear now, though. That shouty man's
Yeah,
not
I
on
think
it.
this year's Top Gear is going to be a lot better, but I think they're going to have really bad ratings because the Grand Tour is there.
Meh. They're offset, though. I mean, if it comes out later in the spring,
If BBC was smart, they'd wait 12 weeks.
I imagine that they probably will.
Yeah, let Top Gear be in the spring and let
The nice thing about the Grand Tour is you can watch it whenever you want to, though. You have to watch it every week, but you can watch it whenever you want to. Like they release one every week.
I think they can legitimately claim they broke the internet. Because I know that there were a lot of problems the night it came out, the first one.
Oh, yeah, they said it was by far the most streaming
Right.
they've
And
had.
if you can break Amazon servers, you can basically legitimately claim you've broken the internet at that point. Like full on South Park.
Are they still doing Extra Gear online? Like, could I go watch Extra Gear right now?
I don't have the slightest clue.
Do you know, Robbie? Did you ever
Never
watch
watched
Extra
it.
Gear?
Nope.
Interesting. None of us watched. That was the good people from Top Gear.
Yeah.
I blame Facebook's algorithms for me not having any clue what's going on in the Top Gear universe right now.
I don't know. I don't see any posts from Top Gear on my
That's because
Facebook.
Facebook doesn't want you to.
Why is that?
Because
The
they don't-
haters?
Because they have algorithms that make life difficult.
Are they gonna create their own car show? And
I
they're
was
pissed about
explaining
it?
this to a coworker today. I was showing him like how many times each of our posts on our Facebook page has been viewed compared to the number of people we have who follow our Facebook page. And he's like, "Why do they do that?" And I said, "Well, if you pay for it, it'll get in front of everybody." Oh.
Yeah, there's
So-
15 million people that like BBC Top Gear. I haven't seen any of these posts. Don't know anything about any of this stuff.
Yeah, because that
Weird.
covers like the magazine and all that, right?
Yeah, and Extra Gear and
They have a pretty active blog
something
site.
called Chris Harris Drives.
Yeah,
which I
they
assume is like
basically
Chris
took
Harris
off
on
Chris
cars.
Harris on Cars YouTube videos and supercut them into a TV show.
Classified of the Week. Yeah, I haven't seen any of this stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't show up on my Facebook page either. Not regularly. Not enough for me to notice it with any regularity.
Bizarre Facebook stuff.
I blame Facebook.
What else, Robbie?
On the Grand Tour, nothing really. I do like how they kind of came out with a bang, going like, we're gonna get the most expensive cars we can do, and we're gonna race them and try to get your attention. I mean, as if they really had to, but
They had a bunch of Mad Max and Burning Man cars in the intro. There was some $high metal in that.
Spent some money.
In
So
that
they spent $2
sequence.
million
no,
on
I
that?
thought it was 3 point something.
3.2,
Was it?
I think.
Oh, maybe 2 million pounds.
I think it was $3.2 million. It's
Yeah, for
the
that
most
opening, just for the
expensive opening sequence of any TV show ever, period.
Correct.
It's a lot of money for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially for something you're not getting any extra revenue from, like advertising or anything. So, I'm sure it's paying for itself, no problem.
Yeah,
but-
they had to blow it out. I mean,
Did you see their advertising campaign they did like a day or two before the show release, where they had a bunch of crashed Priuses all
Yeah.
over the world
Yeah.
that just said Grand Tour on them? Hilarious.
I know all the Amazon packages that have been shipped out recently.
Yeah, they
all
say
the
Grand
all
Tour
the
on
all the tape says Grand Tour.
Yep.
Yeah, Amazon's really bought into it. They're hook, line, and sinker. This is what we're doing.
Yeah, and it seems to be working just fine.
Yeah, I think they're doing all right. for
Spending as much
themselves.
money as they want to.
Yeah,
Hopefully it pays off for them so that they spend more money.
yeah.
Or keep
So-
spending money.
I wonder when Netflix will get a show. They got to do something.
on cars, or just
They got to have a car show. They have to.
maybe they'll stick to movies. They're producing movies. They're producing TV shows.
My guess is I still think that they're going to grab the trio from the American Top Gear and make a show.
Would not be surprised if
Because
they did
their farewells quite clearly stated, we're done with Top Gear, but we're not done.
that. Right.
So that's what
But
I think.
everybody says that as the door's hitting them on the way out.
Well, that
Yeah.
might be. But
We'll be back.
that's what I think they'll
We'll
do.
show-
remember me.
Because a lot of people said that they had finally hit their stride and that it was a much better
Yeah.
show than it was in the beginning. And then they just kind of pulled the carpet out from underneath them and shut the lights off. So I think they'll end up on Netflix.
Would not surprise me.
Netflix has got to do something. So,
Yeah,
Is that it then?
I think so. I don't really have anything else to say on it.
Do you have another?
I liked it.
You have another topic?
Well,
Let's do another topic.
We have an actual topic. If you
Let's
wanna
do
go
our
there.
actual topic then.
Oh, Adam, it was your idea. I think you'll
All right.
introduce it better.
so this week we are going to. Somebody had mentioned that they kind of like it when we do these hypothetical, like episodes where we pick a couple of things and we talk about what we would do in this scenario. So we chose 3 different categories of race car builds, and we chose which cars we would build if we could do it, if we were going to actually pursue these things. And they're all semi-realistic things we could probably do. So the categories are Chumper Lemons, some sort of budget level endurance racing, a grid life event. The idea was to pick one of the events that you are going to compete in, whether that be drift, time attack, car show, whatever, and what you would build for it. And then one lap of America. Pick a class, build a car. Keep it realistic.
And since not everybody probably knows what these events are,
Okay.
let's do a quick rundown of what's your
So the
1 minute definition
the
of
Chumper Lemons, the budget level endurance racing, you have to build a car that is under what is generally considered to be a $500 budget minus wheels and tires and safety equipment. There is basically, I think the general consensus is that you should, despite the $500 budget, you should plan on spending around $3,000 to build the car. By the time you get the cage in it, get the fire suppression system in it, get the radios and stuff that are required for it, a wheel and tire package that's adequate, that sort of stuff, you should expect to spend around $3,000.
yeah, at least.
But they say $500 to build the car.
Yeah, that's they
And
kind of
there's kind of gray area.
yeah,
there.
because Chump kind of took it from Lemons. Lemons says a $500 car, and Chump does it a point system,
Right.
and that's kind of how I picked my car. We'll get into that later, but so a car is worth anywhere between 0 and 500 or even more points, and you want to keep your car under 500 points, or else you get penalized. So, for
get
example,
laps.
if you buy a Saturn junky car, it gets 50 points, and then you could actually build onto it and bring it up to 500 points. So you could put money into it.
If you wanted to, you could show up with a full built race car that has 1,500 points on their point system, and you could race. You're just going to get like 100 penalty laps.
yeah,
or something
then you're
like
then you're
that.
just racing.
You're
not
just there to
actually
race. You're there to have fun. You're not. But you could theoretically show up with anything you really wanted to, frankly.
Right.
So then, grid life. I think most anybody who listens to this knows what grid life is, but it's a blooming as a building up event that is happening at this point, kind of all across the middle of our country, and they do a number of events a year. But the big ones are always a festival that has a music. They have time attack. A large time attack grid. They have HPDEs for those who aren't ready to compete, just kind of learning, starting out. There's a big car show at a number of the events, and then they also have drifting. Now, I did ask Adam Jabay about the drifting thing because I someone locally who kind of asked me about it because he knew I was somewhat affiliated with people who are in grid life. The drifting section is by invite only.
Okay.
So, say 2 or 3 months before one of the festival events, they'll put out a call for people who are interested in being there, and you can submit videos or whatever, and they'll choose the ones that they want there. They are by invite only, and you don't just register and show up, because they do want people who know what they're doing.
That makes sense.
So, but that's kind of grid life in a nutshell. And then one lap of America, Michael probably knows it best, but
Yeah, One Lap of America started as the Cannonball Run. So the thing that Alex Roy did in his BMW,
it's
his
driving
M5, is driving from
Brooklyn.
New York to somewhere in LA. So basically coast to coast, more or less.
Diagonally.
So when that got shut down, they did that through the 70s and maybe a little bit in the 80s, but obviously the cop traffic got really thick, and so then they started doing One Lap of America, which is basically, I think it's, I'd have to check the rules exactly. I think it's 7 racetracks in 8 days. or something.
Is it that many?
Yeah, it's quite a few, or 6 and 8 days or something. I mean, it's race, rally to the next racetrack, try to get some sleep, race on the racetrack, rally to the next point. I mean, you're going, and so you do that for a little over a week, and basically there's different classes within one lap of America based on what car you have, but the point of it is really an endurance sort of race and rally. So basically you have to get your car to a racetrack, race it, get it to the next racetrack, race it, do that for a week, and have, well, you can have breakdowns. It depends on how big your wallet is as to how far you want to progress in this, because Bill told me about a guy with a GTR that had a set of brakes flown out. I thought it was on a commercial jet in a checked bag. It turns out it was on a private jet.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so he chartered a private jet and flew a mechanic out with a full set of brakes for a GTR.
Yeah, it was my understanding that you could have the car, a tow package to that said race car, and then a trailer.
Yep.
And then that's it. Like, you can't bring a truck and trailer with crew.
No,
There's
it's
very
you.
little support team.
Yeah, it's you, your co-driver.
Yep.
Can you bring friend? Or is it just you two?
I think it's just 2.
I don't remember seeing anybody that was running a 3-man crew.
No.
There were a number, like, there were those Volkswagens when you and I, Robbie, went, what was that, 2 years ago now?
No, it was. Yeah, well,
It wasn't last summer.
It was 2
It would
years.
have been the summer before. There were those 3 Volkswagens that were all identical builds, and all 6 of those guys were a team. And I'm sure that they probably share amongst each other a little bit.
Yep.
But no, there's not. You don't load the car up into your semi-hauler and have it truck down to the next event. You drive it.
No, you hook
and
it up
what's
to-
on that vehicle is what you've got.
Yeah, you hook it up to that race car to a trailer, and then you take the trailer with you.
The trailers, I assume, are spec'd just like Drag Week based on size.
Yeah, and you can have you can carry 1 spare wheel with 1 spare tire per tire size.
Yeah, I remember talking to Bill, friend of the show, Bill, who has actually competed in, and I believe is doing it again this year, isn't he?
I think he will be. He hasn't brought it up yet, but I think he's going to.
I know he was talking about it. But he said you can run staggered wheel sizes and have a spare wheel with tire of each size. So it pays to stagger your sizes just so you can have 2 spares
Yeah, because then you can carry 2 spares. But
instead of
do you have the space to carry 2 spares and oil and a jack?
That's
and,
where
that's
where the vehicle choice comes
Yep.
into play.
Yep, definitely.
Because there is a guy who does it in Aerial Atom, and those guys are on a whole different level.
Yeah, because he's driving. Because the one year that Bill did it 2 years ago, there was a freaking tornado in Texas.
Pouring
So
rain.
it's pouring
I've
rain,
seen
the worst
pictures.
thunderstorm, and this guy's driving an Aerial Atom with
The
obviously
passenger was asleep.
no top. Obviously no top because you don't have one in Aerial Atom. It's just raining on him, and he's asleep, probably because of exhaustion.
Right.
I mean, it's a
you
real.
imagine?
It's a car endurance challenge, and it's a driver endurance challenge.
Yeah,
for
'cause
sure.
by day 7, you're just beat. You've been awake
Oh
all
yeah,
week.
yep. And I don't think technically you have to have both of your drivers have to race. I think you can do it with one driver if you're a complete psycho. But God, that would be suicide.
Yeah.
It's better to do it with a team, especially if something goes wrong.
Didn't Bill and Scott, they both were competing in the same car but separately?
Yeah, so you do, like when they did it, Bill would do his how many ever laps he got, and then Scott would do his laps.
They have like 5-minute sessions or something from when Robbie and I were watching.
Yeah, it's not very long, and then
Just
you,
short
you get put all your shit back in the car and you run to the next space. So the less time you have to spend putting stuff back in the car, you know, like if you did have a little trailer, if everything you just unhook the trailer and get the car out on the track, do your laps, get back out, put the trailer on, run to the next spot. That saves you time. So the gray area of the rules is that if you go faster on the rally portion, you get to sleep more.
Yeah.
So if you're doing 110,
You're getting there a lot quicker
you're
than
getting to
you're
the
going
hotel
60.
faster than
Yep.
getting there going 60. So that's where that portion of the game comes into play too. It's really interesting. There's a lot of strategy.
I think that it also always starts and finishes at the Tire Rack facility in Ohio, doesn't it?
I think that's probably
I think
true.
that's true because they have a wet skid pad and a dry skid pad, and they always start and finish at the same place with those events.
Yeah. Because Tire Rack's the title sponsor.
Yeah.
And you have to have brand new tires from Tire Rack.
Yeah, they have to be a tire they sell.
Yep, that's part of the deal.
So
it's quite interesting.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pieces to it.
let's start with budget endurance. Chump car.
Robbie, you seem to have a grasp of the rules. I did chump as well.
Yep,
just FYI.
I didn't even bother with lemons.
I think most builds you can cross. They've kind of tried to make the rules so that you can run in both. You may not be competitive in both, but you can run the cars in both.
I tried to exploit the Trump rules. Put it that way. Would you come up with, Robbie, for
I
your
looked
car?
around, and I guess first I didn't really think about it. I just did the lemons rule of $500, and I just looked locally on Craigslist, and I came up with what I came up with. If I had to start with a $500 car, and I didn't go off of what anyone else had been able to pass in the past.
Yep.
I came up with a Pontiac Grand Am, like a '95, because that would be like a $500 car.
Terrible.
And then I was looking at the chump rules and decided that's terrible.
That's terrible.
So what I came up with is that I would start with a 95 era Honda Civic.
Okay.
Because that starts at 150 points. And if
for chump it does?
Yes.
Okay. Yep.
So if you have a 500 max, you could put a little bit of effort into it, get a pretty decent race car for 500 points,
Yep.
and not be penalized a single lap.
There's a huge aftermarket, so there's lots
and
of
they're cheap.
used
Dirt
available
cheap.
parts.
Parts are cheap.
Yep.
Engines are bulletproof. It's a good choice.
Yep. So I looked at it at first, going, "These are it's overpriced. I can't get these I can't get a decent one for $500."
Yeah.
But then realized, based on their point scale,
Yep.
they're very
You're
low.
solid. Yep.
So if you say instead of starting with 100 or 500, you start with 1,000, you can get an okay Honda Civic.
Yeah.
And then you could pour 1,000 into it, and then have aftermarket parts, more reliable parts, and then be ready to rock and roll for $500 or 500 points.
I like it.
What about you, Michael?
I did a points thing as well. I found out that, well, basically what I chose is an 82 Camaro with a 305 and a manual, but only an 82.
Like a 4-speed,
Yeah.
probably at that point?
Yeah, because an 82 is only 150 points. An 83 or newer is 250 points.
Yep.
There's no discernible difference between the two of them. I'm not really sure who dropped the ball on that deal there. But so I would get an 82 Camaro, and then I figured out I could do, what all could I do? I could change the intake. I could do coil springs, distributor coil, sway bar, racing pads, probably some level of stockish disc brake, and a cam, and still be under 500 points. I feel like that'd be a lot of car.
That would be a lot of car.
It'd be a pretty fast car.
Yeah, I think so.
And semi-reliable, probably. Depending if you put the engine together well.
Right.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it comes down to. I'd
Could you get like the IROC, the quote-unquote handling package? Or I suppose if you're going to put aftermarket suspension, does that really matter?
probably not. I would
'Cause
trade...
that was just a suspension package, wasn't it? In the time?
Yes, if you want to call it that. It was like a half-assed American attempt at making a car that would turn because they couldn't make cars that go fast in a straight line anymore.
Right.
But yeah, it didn't discern like models. It just said, "Is it a Camaro with a V8?" And I said yes, and it said that's 150 points then.
Okay. So you guys put more research into this than I did, so I kind of failed and dropped the ball on this a little bit. So maybe I was building towards a chump idea as well.
I can look it up.
So you're going to love this one, actually,
I'm gonna look it up.
Michael.
Okay,
I would build an FC.
an FC.
Yep. An RX-7.
You don't have that open by chance, do you, Robbie?
I do.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Can you find how many
But I would put
points that is?
I would put some older carbureted small block in it with a 4-speed behind it.
See, this is where you get screwed, though.
Really?
You get
Yeah.
heavily
Oh, yeah.
screwed on a swap because I thought about doing. What was I going to do? I was going to do a V8 swap of some kind. Do you get a point for every horsepower or something? You get like mega screwed on swaps.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I knew swapping was not an option. I didn't look into that. I know the RX-7, the 12A model, is that an 82?
Yeah. Well, no, 12A would be the first gen rotary.
Plug a
engine.
86 in there.
You want 13B?
13B would be the motor that came in his generation RX-7.
Okay, so a 13B 1986 is 275 points.
Oofda.
Yeah, so that build wouldn't be realistic then,
Swap
unless you want to take
performance
some
index.
unless you want to take some hits. But so here was my logic behind that car. If I remember right, Michael, you had said that the brake pads can be changed on that car without pulling the discs or without pulling the calipers off of the car, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
So in an endurance race, there's a high probability that you're going to have to change brake pads at some point in time during the race.
Yes.
And being able to do that quickly is less time spent in the pit, which is more time spent on track.
Yeah,
So little shit like that could come into big play.
Yeah, if you could knock that out in 10 minutes rather than
Half
dicking
an
around
hour.
with it for a half hour.
And like, I know you also said aren't like the front brakes they have built-in ducting from the front of the bumper and stuff like that?
Yeah, they've got ducts coming through the front bumper.
From the factory.
From the factory.
More stuff
they're
that's
vented.
going to really be important in an endurance race.
I'm going to do this swap calculation one more time, but the first time I did it, I came up with 4,000 points.
Jesus Christ.
Seems
So,
like
so you do
not the direction.
when I'm plugging in. This is on the Chump Car website. If anybody wants to do this, there's a swap table, and you go to Mazda RX-7 13B 1986 car weight minus 10%. Let's just say it's 2,700. That's pretty close. Original horsepower, I think, is like 170.
I don't even know if it
What
was
if I
that
got
high.
a turbo car?
Just put 170.
But if you had a turbo car, that's like 2 plus.
I don't know. That's not on the thing here.
Because I had a turbo car given to me, and I bought a motor for $500. If I'd have known what I was doing, it could have been running again.
Okay, for the sake of argument, I'll put in original horsepower is 220 because that's what the horsepower was on the turbo. New horsepower is 300. That's a general. We'll just use that as a small block.
Okay.
I'm coming up with 4,000.
Okay, so that's a terrible build. Boy, they really stick it to you for swaps.
Yeah, swap's a
don't they?
bad deal because, just an RX 275 is what you came up with, right, Robbie?
Yeah.
For just an RX-7, that's what I got here.
So Adam lost.
Damn, they really stick it to you.
Yeah,
I
also maximum swap cost is $1,500 for the whole deal.
Yeah, that'd be tough.
I think you could do a carbureted like Gen 1 small block for that, though.
Yeah, but then like with the 240, you're forgetting little things like the oil pan doesn't fit, so you have to replace the cross member. With
Yeah,
the one
but
that
this
does.
is
And you
jump. You
need-
just fucking weld it.
You need
just hack and
this
slash it.
You need
Yeah, I
the swap
suppose.
kit at some level though too, you know.
Yeah, you got to be able to trust it.
And the transmission, that's what would kill you right there.
I figured I could get a 4-speed at a swap meet for nothing.
If it works.
Yeah.
Details. It's just gears. They'll be fine.
It's whatever.
Just
put
spray
some
some
stuff in
WD-40
there.
in there and
PB blaster,
It'll
figure
be
it out. The
fine.
rust will come off.
And I kind of thought about the way I picked the Civic was also, I wasn't, like, it has nothing to do with the rules or anything, but when I'm trying to put a cage in it and all this stuff, they're readily available. Like,
Yeah.
bolt-ins.
There's NASA certified bolt-in kits that you can just get for, at
Weld-in,
most,
whatever.
Yeah, at most you get a prefab kit for less than $1,000. So I figured, and I'm sure they're even cheaper than that.
Yeah. You got a fire suppression for chump. Do you know that?
Yeah, but yes, and you also have to have a race seat, a legitimate
Yes.
race seat.
An actual,
You have to have a Hans, don't you?
No,
No, I didn't see
I
that.
don't think you need a Hans. But I think
No?
you
Okay.
need like I don't know if it's FIA certified, but you need a legitimate race seat.
Yeah. Yep. For sure.
So the 240 seats would be acceptable. But again, those are
Yep. And you
Expensive.
would need in-date harnesses too.
Yes.
The other thing.
So-
Can't be buying all that stuff cheap. It's better to spend
and,
the money
and you
on that
don't
stuff.
get penalized for buying expensive safety gear. Is
Which
my
is good.
understanding.
It's good.
So if I bought a
Yeah, none of that. none of that
$900
counts
seat with
towards
a-
anything.
$500 set of harnesses and a
It'd be all
$2,000
good.
cage. Yeah,
Which is good.
It wouldn't hurt you, but yeah,
Right.
it's who wants to spend that kind of money on a chump car?
So the chump race that I went and watched at Iowa Speedway a few years ago, and a few other ones that I've kind of noticed, apparently there's some secret sauce formula to make neons really quick out there. I don't think they're super reliable, but they're really fast apparently.
Not worth it.
I don't know what it is that those guys are doing, but they're stupid quick.
Nope. Not racing a neon, dude.
Why not?
I'd rather race a Geo Metro.
Yeah, but bro, it's a turbo Dodge.
I get. That's why he
That's
likes
why
it.
he likes
That's
it.
why
No,
he
I
likes
don't.
it.
If really seriously, if I was going to buy a car from scratch, I'd probably build a Cavalier
I'm okay with that.
because
How many points is a Cavalier?
I think you could get. I assume that they're almost. They can't be any worse than a Civic.
What year Cavalier?
99.
That's too new. You're going to be penalized.
I lost my deal.
They
You
go
got
back
it
to
up there, Robbie?
95.
250.
250.
Halfway to your limit.
They go back to 95 in that body style.
That's a lot of points.
Same. Doesn't change.
That's a lot of points, dude.
Why is that so much? That should be the same or less than a Civic of the gen you picked. That's a way better.
That's what I get for
handling
doing
car.
research. I planned out my build, and you're just haphazardly
Dude,
picking
I looked.
cars.
I looked.
These sound like the same problems I have with a lot of the SCCA rules. Like, there's a class dominating car no matter what you do, and if you want to be competitive, you have to build that car.
I looked at Fiats because that's kind of my thing.
Oh, yeah.
124 is 150 points.
Nice.
You could do a lot to a 124.
I also looked that in that same realm of cars, it has in the same gen, it's the Honda Civic, the Del Sol, and the Prelude are all in the same little group.
Dude, you can make a sick Del Sol.
Del Sols are cool.
They're not cool.
Cool,
every
cool for
time
a chump car.
They're not cool.
It's cool for a chump car. Every time I see a Del Sol, I'm like, God, that's fucking lame. But then
But
I'm like,
I
it's
kind of like it,
It's not like the worst thing ever. Like a
Those
turbo,
they look like they're supposed to be mid-engined,
but they're not.
A
and if
turbo-
they were, they'd be cool.
a turbo Del Sol is kind of sick.
No.
I kind of like them.
I'm kind of into it.
I'm not-
I could
I'm not-
never have one, but if somebody had a turbo Del Sol that was nice, I'd be like, okay, that's cool, dude.
cool,
I'm
yeah.
into it.
For
But most of them,
for
they're
chump, I think it's cool.
and for chump it would be cool, but most of them are like
Dog
shot.
shit. Yeah, people
they're just
just
terrible.
destroy them.
I'd rather build a hatchback Civic than a Del Sol. I think that was a better looking car.
I'd rather do the Del Sol.
just because it is a Del Sol, I'd have to call it the Del
I
Sol.
like the Targa top.
Does it come out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Does it really?
Yes.
Yeah. That's kind of like the thing about the Del Sol.
That's why I like it.
But it's funky looking. It's got a weird trunk thing on the back.
That's fine.
Looks like a motor should go there. Like an MR2.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah. That's all I got. I wouldn't do any stupid themes. I'd just race.
That's why I would choose Chump over Lemons all day long.
That's kind of why the guy that started Chump did it, because he was sick of all the bullshit at Lemons.
you didn't want to have to wear a costume.
Yep. He was sick of the themes and I think they called it the tongue-in-cheek
Humor of everything.
humor. And
It's not really racing anymore.
No.
It's a bunch of dicking around while you're racing. Which is not maybe the greatest combination.
Some people are into it, and that's fine. They can be into it.
Oh, an X19 is 200 points. I can't think of anything I'd rather race less than a Fiat X19.
Less? Really?
Yeah. It's fucking terrible. As a chump car,
Yeah, because
It'd be
apparently you
bad.
can't swap.
and it's only got a 1.3 in it. It's got a little teeny engine. It's 200 points.
I think a 124 would be a not bad car. That motor's been... I mean, you've had your fair share of troubles, but it hasn't been super unreliable at the same time.
It's mainly because my engine machinist kept putting shitty valve guides in it. Changed the
you
valve
might-
guides in that twice.
You might be able to build an all right car out of that,
You probably could.
especially with that such a low starting point value.
Yeah, with only 150 points, you could probably build a pretty sick car.
Be a pretty rad little ride.
I'm not doing it.
nah.
Green one's going to be a turbo.
You could buy another one.
I'm not allowed to buy anymore.
That seems fair. That's probably a good idea to finish the project first.
No, Robbie.
Because if I finish the 240 before you finish the RX-7, you'll never hear the end of it.
Finish, or
We already,
start
have,
it?
we already have random people on our Instagram calling you out for it.
I'm just going to I'm going to start it.
Doesn't count. No, first one, like to take it to Cars and Coffee or just drive it somewhere would be
Got to drive it around my yard.
No.
no. It's got to be. I'm not even saying racing, because it's just a race to at least get to the point where they're running.
Where you shift into second gear. How about that?
Yeah.
First person to second
No,
gear.
how about this? The first person to drive to the other one's shop.
No, because I don't want to haul my car all the way up to your shop just to prove a point and then drive it all the way back down there in December.
I will. Well,
I'm not doing it in the winter, dude.
First person to do a burnout.
I'm good with that.
No, I'm not good with that.
What? Why not?
Because I'm going to get it started and then I'm going to put it back in the shop.
Burnout.
No,
Burn out.
no.
Because that I feel like that's a good show of roadworthiness.
You did grow up in a drag racing household, didn't you?
First person to second gear with a video.
And a burnout. You could
No
shift into
burnout.
second gear and a burnout, Michael.
Just my goal is still April, so you should have quite a
Okay.
bit.
What's going to
First
get
person
more
to
hits on
second-
YouTube?
I'll do
Burnouts.
a burnout in it eventually, but for me to finish my car, doing a burnout is not on the list.
Starting
of
to
things.
sound like Robbie getting rental cars over here. I might do a burnout in it eventually, maybe.
Robbie, you just gonna go out in the neighborhood here and do a burnout?
Fucking cookies in the cul-de-sac.
Nah, that's rude to my neighbors.
See, that's what I'm saying. As soon as somebody else is buying my tires, I'll do burnouts.
I'd drive it all the way to your shop and do a burnout in front of it, and then drive it home just to prove
Rude.
a point.
No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't.
My dad did that to somebody.
Adam,
once.
Adam, am I the type of guy that would prove a point that way?
I feel like you would.
He's the guy that hasn't taken his girlfriend's
Maxima through the
Maxima
limits?
past 3,500 RPM.
That's
You're
not
telling
true.
me
But he's also the same guy who says that your daily is just that, and your race car is for you to do dumb shit in, and that I think quantifies as dumb shit.
And I would drive an hour out of my way to prove a point.
Absolutely.
do a burnout on a gravel road.
There's two things I know about Robbie. It's that he will prove himself right eventually, and he's super cheap. Those are the two guarantees for Robbie.
So he's going to ruin some tires.
Is that a compliment or not?
You can do a 5-second burnout, and it's not going to significantly decrease the life of your tires. It'll be all right.
I'm not agreeing to it. First person in the second gear.
I just want to see them both running.
Never did I think
not-
that Michael would turn down a burnout.
No, I'm not going to drive 45 minutes to Robbie's house to do a burnout in the
I
middle
didn't
of
say do a burnout
60
in front
people.
of Robbie's house. Do it in front of your house. I don't care where you do it. Just do a burnout.
I'm not doing it. First person out of the three of us to do a burnout.
Hell, I'll fucking grab the Omni and do a burnout tomorrow.
Front wheel drive single wheel burnout.
Yep.
It's got to be
It
a
does
two. It's
both.
got to be two wheels.
It does both. Thank you very much.
I would actually be quite impressed because that means you'd have to take the intake off and put it all back together in order to do a burnout.
Whatever.
See, he'll do that to prove a point too.
Yeah, I would absolutely do it to prove it. I'll do a one-wheel wonder burnout on my way out of here with the S. Or I don't have the S10 tonight. Shit. I would have done it in the S10 if I had it.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are working on burnouts. I'm going to work on wiring my car.
I'm not even going to bother with wiring. I'm just going to buy a harness on Black Friday.
It's a bold strategy.
You should check wiring specialties. Maybe they make you a harness for you.
No, it's already partially wired. I'm not tearing it out.
They do. I bet they make a harness for you.
Probably not for an LT1 though.
I bet they do.
I think so.
I don't know.
It's kind of
I'm not gonna look.
a weird one.
That is kind of the problem with his. Is it's just obscure enough to be not well supported.
There's a diagram. I just haven't. It's just somebody got in there with a pair of wire cutters and snipped a bunch of crap out.
Ugh.
Side cutters.
That's what's dikes.
Side cutters.
Dikes.
It's the abs on my side.
Just for the people. Just for the. Well, no, I call them dikes too. But
I
that's
know.
where. Or no, diagonal cutters. Is
Yeah,
where the-
exactly.
where
We said
the-
side cutters. It's like diagonal cutters, guys.
is where the term dike came from. It's diagonal cutter. That's where the term came from.
Mr. Know-It-All. I just assumed it was like a vice grip.
You mean a pump pliers?
Go away.
I like Dark Robbie. What do you got next, Dark Robbie?
Well, what do we want to do next? Grid life?
Let's
do
do
a grid life build.
Robbie. Why don't you start with Grid Life?
All right, so
What car are you drifting, Robbie?
I'm not drifting.
You're not
Really?
drifting?
Not drifting.
So, what car are you showing? What car are you hot import nighting?
How much camber do you have?
None. Well, like 3 degrees.
Oh man, that's not as much
Hella
fun.
flush.
So I didn't even I totally forgot about the car show. And
How much underglow?
all of it. The 7 changing colors. And drifting was too obvious because I'm going to pick an LS 240. No, I really would. But I decided to go with the track battle. And for those that don't know, they have 4 classes. One's the HPDE Plus, and that's for people that are trying to get into this. So basically, if I was trying to do this and my 240 ran, I would take it there under the HPDE Plus, where I would work with a driver who would train me and teach me how to drive well on a track. And that'd be a really good place to start. So if you are considering doing that and you actually can get to Grid Life and you have the money to do it, I would suggest that's a wonderful place to start. And for these builds, we're assuming I've done this and that I am competent and I am good driving.
That was kind of what I was assuming was
Yep.
that you could skip the HPDE part and just go straight to doing whatever you want to do.
Yep. So and then they have the street modified class, the track modified class, and then the unlimited class, and they kind of speak for themselves. Street mods basically bolt-ons, track modified's a little bit above that, unlimited classes obviously unlimited. And for my build, I decided to go with track modified. I'm not going to go all the way to unlimited. I don't have an ungodly ridiculous budget. I'm assuming that I make enough money to justify a build, but I don't have enough money to just throw at it. So what I would love to do for my track modified car would be a 99 to a 2002 Mazda RX-7 with an LS1.
So the FD body?
Yes. I've always thought that car was just gorgeous. And if I could arrow it out a little bit, big wing, big diffuser in the back, put an LS1 in it, obviously aftermarket suspension, like the whole 9 yards on that. Just 450 horsepower. I think that'd be an awesome track battle car.
They really are like one of the best looking cars.
Oh, I love it.
Such a
It's
good
gorgeous. And then of course it's blasphemy to a lot of people that I'm LS swapping it and then putting diffusers and arrowing it all out.
Yeah, but you actually want to race.
Oh yeah.
So rotary's not the answer.
No. So I thought that'd be just the way to go for me.
I get it.
It's nice. It's good stuff.
Thank you,
have better.
Michael.
What are you?
No, I don't have better. That
What are you
was
gonna
a
drift?
great answer. I'm going to drift a 2008 Hyundai Genesis 3.8 sedan with
Sedan?
with
Bold.
four Sparco seats.
Oh god, I'm super into it.
Wait, twin turbo.
Yes.
Wait, 6-speed swap out of the coupe.
Brilliant.
I like where your head's at.
That's
I bet I
You
could
think
get
you
it.
could do that for under 30?
Oh, for sure. For
I
sure.
mean, not that we set a price at 30 for this, but
yeah.
I think I could get a 2008 Genesis sedan with. I bet I could get one for $10,000.
do they come with a 3.8 in them?
Yeah. So I just got to get the transmission adapted. That would be the trickiest part.
Just cut it.
Somebody's
It's a
done
race
some.
car.
Somebody's done some stupid twin turbo 3.8. I'm sure I could get a kit or something for that. That would
Oh,
that would be the other big expense. I could probably go pull a 6-speed out of a junkyard, slap it in there, and then just gut it.
Just cut the floor out.
Yeah, who cares?
Put
Just
some-
put some. Yep.
Yeah.
Just whatever. Box it back in.
Drag
if
car
need to.
style.
Yep.
YOLO.
I love it.
It'd be so
I
much
wanted
fun
to do a V8, but I was like, wait, I could put a 6-speed on it if it's a 3.8. I'm gonna do
drifting
that.
with your homies would be a good time. I love it. It'd be so much fun to have people in the back seat and stuff like that.
You see it once in a while where they do that for like spectators.
Forsberg's got a
Yeah,
demo car
yep.
for that. La Flama Blanca.
Exactly.
It's pretty sweet. That's what I was going for. I'm like, that would be pretty sick. Just put a bunch of random drift sluts in the back and hit that track up. You know what I mean? Scare them.
I bet.
Shut up, Robbie.
I bet sliding around in the back would be
Worse.
a weird feeling because you're farther back,
It was weird enough.
so the pendulum motion would be like more significant.
It was weird enough being a passenger in a drift car where you're like, I'm just looking out the driver's the driver's side window. And we're going that direction. But if you're in the back, the driver's like to the right of you, and you're looking to the left. Like that would be really weird. You know what I mean? Because if you're sideways,
yeah, if you get a good angle on it,
your
Well,
ass,
and then-
the passenger's like not really ahead of the driver, but they're farther out than the driver. It'd be weird.
When they connect a drift from one direction to the next, that back is going to rotate
Swing
a lot
real hard.
farther. Oh, like a merry-go-round type of deal.
Yeah.
Where you're on the outside, it's a lot faster than in the middle. That'd be quite a ride.
I might have to do
kind of like a
this.
tilt-a-whirl.
Be
Kind of
quite a ride.
Like mildly, kind of want to do this.
Well, when you decide that you need another vehicle and you're sick of your Fiat,
Should sell the RX-7 and do this.
No.
Once it's done, Robbie,
No, before
Just
it's done, that'd be more.
Just get another one.
just get a 3.8 Genesis
Yeah, just
sedan
be-
and just drive. I could daily it for a
You
while.
could daily it for a while.
And then-
you could trade your Trailblazer in on it, and then the cash left
Build
over.
a drift Trailblazer with 4 seats in it.
I thought about it, but then I decided I didn't want to.
I feel like the high center of gravity would always be a problem.
It probably would be.
If you catch, you're
Yeah.
going over.
Some tracks may frown upon that. It's probably not worth the discussion.
Body drop.
You can lay them out, but I don't think you get it low enough.
Body drop.
Still pretty tall.
Polycarbonate windows. Get some of that high up weight off of it. It'll be all right.
Cut a section of the roof out, put carbon fiber in it.
I like where your
Carbon
head's
fiber
at.
roof.
That's always the answer.
Just cut it out.
Just have a giant plexiglass piece in there.
Nah, just like
Open.
cloth so you can roll it up and open.
Yeah,
and
you got a
close.
cage. I mean, why not just have it be open?
Just have an open top Trailblazer.
Yeah.
Like that. What was it? The XUV that had like all sorts of crazy things going on back there. The Envoy
Oh, the Envoy
XUV, I think it was
with
called.
the stupid.
There was a bunch of weird shit going on back there.
It was like a pickup, but not a pickup.
Yeah,
Robbie, do you have any idea what we're
I
talking
do
about?
not.
They made
we had
GMC,
a few of them at the dealership.
GMC made an Envoy, so like the Trailblazer,
Yeah, I know what those are.
but it had this like back thing that folded down, and it would turn into like a pickup in the back.
Oh, okay.
It was
I think I do
something
remember those.
Weird. It was very like rubber, ruggedized, hard plastic inside, so you could like carry stuff in it, sort of.
Put mulch in it.
It was kind of like an Avalanche and a Blazer had a baby.
Ugh.
it's a little mini avalanche, but it looked like. But you could do the transformer thing and make it look like a regular air quotes. It looked
Right.
fucking weird on the back, but looked like an Envoy almost.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Kind of bizarre. Anyway, 3.8 Genesis sedan, twin turbo, 6-speed.
I like it. The 4-seater thing, no matter the car, that'd be a lot of fun.
That's what I was trying to. It was like, what kind of stupid 4-seater, other than like an 8, like a G8, because that's kind of boring.
That'd be another good option.
That'd be a good one, but
you
it's
wouldn't have
not.
to change hardly anything if you could get a manual in
Yeah,
it.
except I'd need to find $30,000 to buy the G8.
Yeah,
that
that's
would
the
kinda,
problem.
That would kind of ruin the
So
whole.
expensive.
Don't you remember that one we saw at Good Guys?
Yeah.
He literally won $28,500 for it.
Yeah,
I do like
Like, goddamn.
a Volvo. Because I don't particularly love the car, but they're dirt ass cheap and they make decent rear wheel drive drift cars.
Wait, which
Like
280?
an 80s Volvo
Is that like
with
a
an
280?
LS in it or something.
280 Volvo?
Like a 240. A Volvo 240.
I don't know. Make a Nissan 240. I don't know about a
Volvo 240. Yeah, wagon.
Well, wagon or not, I
You
don't
got to
care.
do a wagon drift car.
If you're going to do it, just do it, yeah. But
I've clicked on something that says 427 rear wheel horsepower 98 or 89 Volvo.
yeah, they're kind of a thing. Like
245
LS
deal.
swapping, it's like the normal thing.
Wonder if somebody makes a kit.
I think they have I might be wrong. I'm probably no. They came with turboed 4-cylinders and stuff like that. They're pretty potent in their own respect.
Someone should Cummins swap a 240 and then drift that
Which 240?
wagon.
So a Volvo 240.
Volvo 240
Now
wagon.
we have to specify make
Cummins,
and model.
Cummins swapped drift.
Like a 4BT or whatever they call it. The smaller one.
Oh, what? This 200 or 427 horsepower Volvo 240 was only $12,000 on Bring a Trailer. Damn.
There you
The
go.
engine says Volvo on it and has a giant turbo. Is this a Volvo?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So I made a 400 horsepower.
That's
Volvo
not really
engine?
that big a deal, I don't think. Chaz used to be like hella into the Volvo thing.
Me Gusta with BBS snowflakes on it. It's pretty sick.
They're not a bad looking little ride. Chaz used to have one.
Yeah,
Chaz
until you
actually-
said that. You
Chaz
remember
actually
saying
had like a semi-rare one, but it was so rusted away that he just let it go.
that. Anyway, that was my build. What's your build, Adam?
So, I would like to say that. So I would build a time attack car, because time attack, for whatever reason, like of all the competitive motorsports, that's the one that interests me most. I don't really have that much interest in wheel-to-wheel racing like you do, Robbie.
Right.
Or like both of you, frankly, but I think Robbie a little more. I don't know why. There's just something about it. I'm just not super interested in it.
You would think that my cheapness would steer me away from wheel-to-wheel racing altogether.
I think that if you want to get real serious about it, you can wheel to wheel cheaper than you can time attack.
Yeah, I suppose.
Just don't run into anything.
Yeah, I'm just thinking crashes and.
Well, I don't
That's more
think
likely to
crashes
happen.
really happen all that often unless you're
Robbie's
people
planning
who
on
are
doing-
out there spending their own money on their own race cars
Yeah,
and then
that is-
racing
that
them
is supposed
don't
to-
crash nearly as often as NASCAR drivers in
Factory-sponsored cars.
yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know, like the race that you and I flagged at, there were no accidents.
That wasn't technically wheel-to-wheel, though, was it?
Yes, it was.
Club racing?
Yeah, that's wheel to wheel racing. Granted, there are multiple classes on the track at a time.
Yeah.
but
so-
there's still wheel to wheel racing. If there's
Okay.
more than two car or there's more than one car in a class on the track, they're racing against each other.
Okay.
First person to cross the line wins.
Yeah, makes sense.
It's just that we were at a small local region, so they ran multi classes on the track at a time. Just because otherwise you'd have two cars going out there for 20 minutes by themselves. It's just not really a thing.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's club racing. That's wheel to wheel.
Guess I was not after watching it. I guess I really didn't put that together. I was like, yeah, that just looks more like a time attack where they kind of
Nah,
not necessarily point to pass, but you know what I mean.
They're not time attacking. You were supposed to, if you had if you were not in contention and somebody was coming up on you that was,
Yeah, then you have the
you're
blue
supposed
flag.
to kind of let them pass.
Yes.
But that's not the case in a lot of racing either. Like you go to a majors event, I don't think they use the pass flag. I think you're just out there.
Okay.
I'm not sure on that. Jabay will probably send us a group message to correct me. Yeah,
I hope so. Yeah, I hope he does. Let me know.
But anyway, time attack seems to be more my thing, and I suppose this stems from my I still have a love for autocross. I know you guys are not super into it anymore, but that's still like my racing. I still would rather fight a clock than fight other people. And the nerd in me just likes the idea of being able to make small changes and see what it changes on the track and stuff like that. And I really love aero, so that's kind of why I'm so in love with time attack. I would like to think that I could build an unlimited car, but it'll never be competitive. But it'll probably end up in unlimited just because...
Based on what you do to it?
Just because that's what I'm stuck with the rules. I would like to build... I've kind of talked about this build before. An Ecotech 4-cylinder swapped C4 Corvette.
Oh, yeah.
Big turbo. Lighten it up as much as I can. Aero the shit out of it. Go racing.
It's a bold. I know you.
It's a bold strategy.
I know that'd be one of your autocross builds.
I feel like, at some level they could be used for both.
Yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't.
I mean,
with it,
effective aero on an autocross course probably wouldn't fare well at track speeds, unless you've got it really well built.
Yeah, you'd have to dial it in based on what you're racing.
Whatever. I mean, I'd probably build it more towards the time attack and then take it out for test and tunes at local autocrosses and just for funs.
Yeah, plus if you're turbo like that, I assume it'd be more power on a track rather than autocross because you wouldn't necessarily be in the power
band. Depends on what turbo you're using and how you'd all do that. But I just... it's a unique build. It's kind of an upsetting build to some people.
Blasphemy to a lot of Corvette owners.
It's a very cheap car to buy.
Angry.
Like, I actually did semi-research buying one a couple of times in the past, and especially if you buy one with the bad motor or a blown motor, they're like less than $2,000 for a decent one. And
I get that Crossfire. That thing's a piece of shit.
Yeah, and so those are a dime a dozen because they're not worth anything.
Right.
But I'm going to take it out and throw it in the junkyard anyway. I don't really care. If I can find a blown Crossfire engine, that's the perfect build, A little bit ratty interior, I don't give a fuck. It's mostly fiberglass, so there's not a ton of rust issues. Be an all right car to build off of. I know they're a little bit of a pig, but I'm not afraid to gut it down and do whatever I got to.
I like it. Because, it'd be unique. It'd turn a lot of heads, for sure.
Just something different.
Especially when you flew by the pit wall. People are like, what the fuck was that noise? Corvette.
Yeah.
It's just a Corvette. Don't worry about it.
The 4-cylinder turbo.
Does that guy know that he's missing 4 cylinders on his
got
V8?
a super bad miss. Somebody should flag that guy down.
Should I get 2 Ecotechs and mount them like at a off kilter right next to each other?
No, you should extend the front of the car and mount them in line. You should line up the cranks on 2 Ecotechs and get an inline 8 twin turbo.
I like
just
that
say
build.
Fuck you, internet. That's what you should do.
Yep.
Fuck you, internet.
Stick it right out the front.
Oh yeah, Ryan Turek with your
Yeah.
Ferrari powered GT86.
When's the last time you saw a straight 8, bitch?
Just get Vibrant Performance to sponsor you.
It's a 4-liter
Knock that
V8 or a 4-liter inline 8.
Love it.
Suck it. It's the 10/10 version of the... What's it called? The 4586 GT.
4586. GT 4586.
Yeah, it's the 10/10 version.
There you go.
2 Ecotechs welded together, sticking out the front of a Corvette.
Circle track style like we saw at the Museum
for sure.
of Speed.
We can figure it out. But we could get them in balance. Close enough anyway. What's the last one?
One lap.
One lap of America.
What are you doing for one lap, Robbie?
Well, because I want to have something that I could take and not really have to deal with and also be able to carry extra shit in case stuff goes wrong. I decided to go with a 2005 Lancer Evo with a tow package, obviously, and a small trailer. Because I felt like if I had an Evo, it'd be competitive on the track, reliable, and it could carry all the crap I would ever need and be able to make it to the next event on the road as well.
I don't know how much you know about Evos, but I'm not sure that Evo and reliable generally go in the same sentence without a not.
Well, I'm not talking like a 600 horsepower built to the wall.
I suppose.
Because, I mean, you hear about people that put a big turbo on their Evo and then they blow up the transmission. I'm not doing that. I'm doing a mild build. A
Rob-sponsible build.
Is that a mid-price sedan and wagon from $20,000 to $50,000? I
No,
think that's
it's technically a sports car.
Is it? So you'd be in the sports car GT under 50,000, under 3.5 liters.
Yes.
I think should end up in the same class that Bill runs in.
Bill ran in alternative fuel.
Oh, that's
80.
right.
Oh, no,
I
wait,
forgot
no, it
about
does
that.
not include E85. Never mind. So he was in, yes, he would have been in that same class.
Yes, I mean, if you say you put $45,000 into a 2005 Evo, you're going to have a pretty competitive car.
The problem with one lap is that if you really want to be at the pointy end of the stick, you got to have $200,000 wrapped up in your Evo. So,
Oh.
And not be afraid to spend 20 grand that weekend for.
and that's kind of
that
why I
week.
chose a car that just would be fun and not competitive.
Well, I think the Evo.
But that would be. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that wouldn't be fun. That'd be a great fun car, and you'd probably whoop my ass.
Well, obviously.
So
What did you pick then? Is it a 1984 Dodge Omni?
No.
no, it's way better.
Wait, Robbie, what do you got?
It's the ultimate GTR.
Is it the
It's
ultimate
not,
GTR?
It's not the ultimate GTR.
Okay.
Or an Ultima GTR. It's neither. It doesn't even have G, T, or R in the name.
I'll believe it when I hear it.
Yep.
Oh, it has a G. I take that back.
I figured.
So there's a truck and SUV class in one lap.
Ah, jeez.
And I just kind of like that idea because it's big and it's spacious and it's funny. So I'd build a Ford Lightning. Ford GT motor. Big old blower. Listen to it whine while I'm driving down
let's
the
not get
side exits.
Let's not get it twisted with the Ford GT motor. The Ford GT has a Lightning motor.
No.
Yeah, I think
going the other way
Robbie's
around.
technically correct on this one.
Just so we're all
Just like
clear
the
on how
current GT has a Taurus motor.
exactly.
Yeah, yep.
Because the engine was in the Lightning first.
Yep.
The non-existent Ford GT owner that is also a listener of this just got really upset at
Yeah,
you.
he's very mad at me.
He is. He's
Sorry.
very upset. He's going to send you many, many emails at 1010spodcast@gmail.com.
That's fine.
Direct those
Address them to Robbie.
to Robbie, please.
And
don't-
in
I
the
don't
subject
get
say, Robbie sucks.
That's rude.
It is rude. He's very upset.
I understand.
Okay.
But I just think that'd be kind of fun. And it's
Yeah, it would.
side pipes.
You
and
wouldn't even. You
or
wouldn't
side
even.
exit and the blower whine and just throw the shit in the back of the
Exactly.
truck and just hit the road.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Jack?
No trailer, just all in the back.
Just throw it in the back and drive. I just think it'd be fun. It probably handles like a pig,
Oh, it'll probably
yeah.
be terrible. He probably wants some
but,
coilovers or something.
but I'm not gonna win it. I mean, this is the same problem as Time Attack. If you really want to be at the pointy end of the stick, you got to have some serious money to throw at it, and I don't. So I just want to have something that'd be fun and ridiculous and would catch eyes out on the track. I think a bright red Ford Lightning, what better?
What'd you build, Mike?
I picked a 2011 Cadillac CTS-V wagon
I'm not shocked at that at all.
with Magna Ride and no modifications.
just a
Just
comfy,
show
quiet
up.
ride.
Right.
He's so comfy.
So comfy, so fast. I mean,
Do we need any safety restraints, like cages, safety Hans devices, stuff like that?
no,
I
I
could've
think you have
swore
to wear a fire suit.
And probably the same helmet that's required at an SCCA autocross, probably Snell 2005 or newer. Maybe 2010 at worst, but so what?
What year are we,
you
2016?
just need
Yeah.
so far, all I can see is you need a fire extinguisher.
Yeah, fire extinguisher
I
and
got
a
one of
fire
those in
suit.
the
I think.
Omni. It's
Yeah,
ready
it's-
for one lap.
Yeah, so OEM seat belts. So yeah,
I could not imagine a worse car for one lap than my Omni.
It'd be miserable.
It'd be the most miserable thing in the world.
that's a lot of shifting.
No radio, no AC,
No
Just-
exhaust.
just the most uncomfortable loud thing in the world.
Bam, bam, bam.
It's a lot more. The suspension's a lot better than the old suspension setup was.
It was
It's
clunky.
like fucking Cadillac CTS-V compared to what it used to be.
Yeah, I believe that.
But-
well, you didn't have any suspension to speak of before.
Not really, no. But no, I couldn't do it. But just a stock wagon.
Stock wagon.
Not even. You gotta have like a tune or something.
Nope.
Come on,
Nope.
boost,
Nope.
more boost.
I know how these things work. You start boosting stuff, shit starts breaking.
I get it.
Probably gonna break something anyway. You're being hard on stuff for like a week or more.
Yeah,
Stock.
you have to
Can I get a
assume something
smaller
breaks.
pulley? Or a bigger pulley? Can I get a bigger pulley? Take a boost down just a hair.
Just a little.
You
Can I
know,
get 500 horsepower?
You know what'd be real cool? They have like a date. I think it's called daily driver class in drag week. It'd be cool to run the daily driver class and whatever that class ends up in one lap in the same year in the CTSV.
Yeah, you could do that.
That'd be a hell of a year.
I'm seeing economy cars under 25,000 as a class. Is anybody in that class?
I saw a Crown Vic the year we went.
Yeah,
I assume that's what class.
I bet those HHRs.
That might be a mid price sedan though.
No, that might have been.
Well, yeah.
Oh,
HHRs
HHR
were
would be
truck and
that.
SUV.
Yeah.
Or was
Oh, you
is
think
that
so?
truck and SUV? It's not though, because it's just built on a Cobalt chassis. So is it?
I bet that's economy car under 25,000. I was thinking like a Mazda 2, where you could just beat the living piss out of it.
What about
all
those
week.
those Golf GTIs that were out there? Do you think those would have been?
It's probably sports GT car under 50,000, under 3.5 liters.
Is that purchase price or built price?
Yes.
I assume it's purchase price.
It can't be both.
It's probably purchase price. I have no idea. It doesn't say on this list of rules I'm looking at.
Because
It's probably buried in here
if
somewhere.
you built an economy car from 1970, I don't think they made one over $25,000. You could buy a Ferrari for that kind of money in the 70s.
Yeah, it doesn't say. It's oddly vague about what that number means. I'm sure it's in here somewhere. I'm just not going to look for it right now.
Right.
The rules are available on the onelapofamerica.com website if you're curious. Let's move on to news, Robbie.
Let's do some news. So Porsche unveils a new mid-engine 911 RSR race car.
Good for them.
It's exciting.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's great.
I figured you Porsche collectors and enthusiasts.
Wait a
I figured
second.
You'd be
Wait a
all excited
second.
about
Wait a
this.
second. Wait a second.
That doesn't come from Italy.
Wait
he
a
doesn't
second.
care.
Ferrari, asshole.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Porsche
I'm
and
so
Ferrari,
sorry.
two different companies. Get your
Pininfarina.
heritage correct, sir. Pininfarina is not made a Porsche. I'm probably wrong. They probably designed one Porsche in 1983. I'm going to get an angry email that says, "You are wrong, sir." Mr. Expert 1010's podcast dickhead. Anyway.
So yeah, this 911 RSR, that they basically told the engineers to start from the ground up. Here's a general footprint of what we want it to look like, and they basically started. There's the new engine they built, or the new naturally aspirated engine is built from scratch. It's a 4-liter,
4 liters.
flat six.
500 horsepower.
When I first read it,
Jesus.
I read this it wasn't the Drive, but I read it on a different website, and they clearly typoed, and it said this new 4-liter. 4-liter flat six with 150 horsepower. I'm like,
Wait
what?
a second. Something's gone wrong.
Why? Why
They
would
have
they?
really, really good engineers.
What class are they in? But then
I know that they restrict them from.
it's yeah.
a lot of times
that's
the
what it
factory
said.
cars make less power, but whoa.
It said it's at 150 horsepower due to class restrictions. I'm like, there was no fucking way. So then I go to a bunch of other websites. 510,
510.
Could you imagine the top speed of a
150 horsepower.
150 horsepower car with all that aero like they have now?
80 miles an hour. 83 miles an hour.
It's coming screaming down the front straightaway at Daytona,
not
doing
moving.
75.
I can't go into fourth gear. It'll slow down.
Out of 6.
Yep. So this will be the first Porsche with the engine in front of the rear chassis or the rear.
First Porsche race or first 911.
Yeah. That's it. That's what I said.
So I can order my 2018 mid-engine 911 then?
This is not
It's
a
just-
production
nope.
vehicle.
Just a race car.
You
Just
s-
the race car.
You say that.
For now.
You say that.
As it stands
2018,
today.
2019, I bet we'll get a mid-engine 911. That engine keeps doing this. Like, here's the axle. Here's a 60s Porsche for people who can see this, who can't, which is only 3 people. And then they've slowly started to move that engine forward. Right now, it like sits on top of the axle. And it's just, it's in front.
It
And it's
has
mid-engine.
to though. If they want to progress and continue to evolve that chassis, the only thing they can do to make it better is move that motor forward.
I love it. Let's do it. Let's get a mid-engine 911.
I like it. I think
Fuck
it's,
the Cayman.
I think
Let's
it's
get
awesome.
rid of that.
Yeah.
Boom.
I was going to say they
Sold.
already make a mid-engine 911. It's called a Cayman.
But it's not as sweet as it could be because they put a smaller displacement engine in it. This could be dope. Full-on dope mid-engine Porsche for the common man.
This year's going to be an interesting year.
Wow.
For the
common man.
You need to
Think you're a little
reevaluate.
out of touch there, Burrow.
Tell me how to live my life.
But this year's going to be an interesting year because Porsche's got that new car.
Yep.
I didn't see this until it was too late, but Nissan all but completely redesigned their GT3 GTR,
Yep.
which was not a very competitive car in years past. So, I mean, there's a lot of new cars that look very promising coming out. This could be an interesting year.
And this car will debut at the 24 Hours of Daytona in January. And then they plan to race basically all the WEC World Endurance Championship races, as well as the IMSA WeatherTech Championships. So there should be well over like 150 hours of race time this year, or 2017.
That'll be our 1-year anniversary
Oh, yeah.
on the day it debuts.
That's exciting.
Tis exciting.
It's like Porsche knew. They needed to have something special for our 1 year.
Yeah. Thank you, Porsche. So, moving
What
on.
else you got, Robbie?
Mazda also unveils a new Daytona prototype. I think it's gorgeous.
It is really cool looking, isn't it?
It's got like this, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just this, it's an LMP2 car, right?
It's a new prototype class. It might end up in LMP2, but I don't think it was primarily developed for the DPI class, the new Daytona prototype class.
Okay. I must have been reading something else.
But it might also be an LMP2 competition.
Okay. I thought that's what I was
don't
reading.
know. I'm going to be honest. I couldn't get past the pictures. I had a hard time reading the articles.
It's a 600 horsepower, 2-liter turbo
Yeah.
engine.
Which doesn't sound super reliable, but I really hope it is.
It's got to just scream into the RPMs, just like 12K.
It's got that cylinder nonsense, though, doesn't it?
Yes, it is not a rotary engine.
It's ridiculous.
They've tried to do a diesel prototype car in the past. This one's not that either. So, just good old-fashioned cylinders and gasoline.
So it almost looks like a Ferrari mashed up with that other prototype they made that burned to the ground, but I can't think what that was called.
Furia?
Furia? Yeah, that sounds right.
The one
It kind of
the one that Top Gear burned down?
Yeah.
It kind of like the mentality that they claim that they built this with seems to be the same attitude. So they're the same styling as well. So I like the way it
It's
looks.
kind of got like the grill is very reminiscent of their production car, though.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way,
No.
though.
Yeah, because it's got
Because
that,
It looks
it's
like
got that
it looks
oval.
like a Mazda.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
which is good. Because you look at, like, I guess Porsche did a pretty good job with their LMP1 car, but like the Audi LMP1 car or the Toyota car, they don't really,
Look like anything they make.
yeah, they're just kind of there. And I know that they're just supposed to be technology features, but it's good to have a little bit of tie-in.
For your brand. It's good for your brand. It's free marketing.
Porsche did an all right job because the headlight looks the same. They've got that 4 LED pattern
Yeah.
like the 918. So,
Is that all there is to say about that?
Yes.
Good work, Robbie. What's next?
All right. So because of the movie coming out in December, Nissan is making a Star Trek edition Rogue.
Star Wars,
So
goddammit.
the Star Trek Rogue, what makes it
Fuck you
different?
both.
This Star Trek edition Rogue,
Yeah. Is that the one that had what? Who is in Star Trek?
like Spock, I think.
The
with
Spock
his-
has-
Shat Attack. William Shatner.
Shatner. Yeah, exactly. So what do you get in the William Shatner Rogue?
So you get for $1,990, you get a different paint job,
Okay.
a bunch of stupid Star Trek logos.
Okay. Some floor mats.
Yeah,
I think you get some floor
there's
mats.
I think there's a couple emblems on the outside that say Star Wars.
Oh,
And a
wait.
helmet.
You
And
get
you get a
fewer
s-
colors.
Yep, you get black or white.
That's all you
Just
get.
like the Millennium Falcon, I think is what is that what it's called, Adam?
That's
I don't know. I don't watch Star Trek and Wars.
Robbie, why must you tear my heart apart?
Did you know that I tried watching the Star Trek movie?
Star Trek?
The Star Trek movie?
I don't
The
care
new one?
about Star Trek.
Yeah. With Chris Pine in it.
yeah.
Those are
I
all
tried-
right.
I tried
They're
wa-
pretty good movies.
You and I disagree greatly on what makes a good movie.
Jurassic Park is not a good movie. I said
Oh
it.
shit.
Get out. You get out. Oh my god.
Sorry, everybody. This show's over.
But no, they start Star Trek out and they say it's in Iowa, and then he's driving a motorcycle and then
Yeah.
he comes flying over.
I'll give you that.
Comes skidding to a stop in front of this big old cliff. I'm like, nope.
There's
No-
mountains
no-
in the background.
No cliffs and mountains in Iowa where I'm from.
Apparently, never been here before.
Yep.
I'll give you that. I'll agree
I was like,
to
this
that.
is stupid. But no, I honestly never made it through that movie or any other Star Wars movies. Sorry, Adam.
Anyway, the new Star Wars Rogue, you get a stormtrooper helmet. That'd be fucking sweet.
Is that a good dude or a bad dude?
It's a bad dude. He can't shoot. They're really bad at shooting, apparently.
So they think if you put that helmet on, you'll miss pedestrians or something?
Ooh. Pedestrian.
Gives you special
pedestrian safety.
Yeah.
Every Mustang owner needs one of those.
Hey, yo.
Is that it, Robbie, with the Star Edition thing?
Basically, yeah, it's just an appearance package they add to the already their.
You're paying for that Death
I just think it's
Star helmet or whatever.
I think it's ridiculous that car makers are doing this.
It's not as bad as the Sriracha Lexus.
Yeah,
That's the
I
worst thing
can't
I've
get it.
ever seen.
But is that going to be a production vehicle?
No, I think it was just a SEMA car. It was still stupid.
It was
Yeah.
incredibly stupid. But this is a production vehicle.
They're gonna. I think they're making 3,400 of them.
It's just dumb.
3,000 for the United States and 400 for Canada.
I'll geek
then-
out when I see one, but that doesn't change the fact that it's stupid.
Yeah, so it's
How much is it? You
It's
say it was
for you-
$1,900?
so you start with a brand new 2017 Nissan Rogue.
Yeah.
and it has to be the Sun and Sound package, which is like their
Expensive?
towing. Yeah, their expensive towing package one.
Okay.
and then you have to order your $2,000 or $1,990 add-on on top of that to get this.
There's a towing package for the Rogue.
Yes.
Maybe
Well,
relative.
Yeah,
It's got a hitch.
Yeah, it's just a hitch.
Hitch receiver.
Pull a John boat with it or something.
Yeah, probably, or like
Maybe a
lightweight
lawn trailer.
I gotta
like
say,
some
I
lawnmowers
gotta say, the new Rogue is not the
not
worst
ugly.
looking
No,
thing I've
it's not
ever
ugly.
seen. It's not
It's a
bad.
nice little SUV.
It looks kind of nice.
Can I get it without a CVT?
No, sorry. Nissan's sticking to their guns on that one.
Supposedly the new one's a little bit better.
Towing capacity is 1,000 pounds. That's not very much.
There's not many.
Well, according to the sticker in my truck, it's 1,000 pounds more than I can tow. So I guess I don't have a whole lot of room to talk.
Well, if you want to haul like motorcycles or dirt bikes, there you go.
Lawnmower,
Yeah, lawnmower.
snowblowers.
Yeah, dirt bike. You could pull a dirt bike.
I mean, yeah, you can't haul a car, but
That's fair.
you could barely haul an LS1.
LS1. Yeah, with the transmission on it.
Yeah. No, because then you don't take into account the weight of the trailer.
So you're over?
You're over.
Man, good thing you rented that car, Robbie.
I did.
But
Actually,
I think it's dumb that the car makers and the movie makers are doing this sort of stuff. I don't like it.
I don't hate it, but yeah, it's just a gimmick. It's just
I mean,
publicity
regardless
stuff.
of what movie they're advertising, I'm not super into it.
Now, if Jeep in 2018,
No.
See that?
Jeep
No.
or
No.
if Jeep and
That I could
Mercedes
get behind.
If Jeep and
No.
Mercedes come out with Jurassic Park editions,
No.
I'm all about it.
No.
That I can get behind because they're actually in the movie, and that make like the, what was it? The Toyota, the Back to the Future edition Toyota.
Oh, yeah, that was sick.
that you saw at
Tacoma.
the Tacoma that you saw at the Chicago Auto Show.
That was
or
fucking sick.
a Jurassic Park liveried Wrangler or something like that.
I want to see a Jurassic Park Mercedes G-Wagon.
Yes.
I want to see a $120,000 Mercedes Jurassic Park G-Wagon.
I could
with
get
the-
behind those because they actually were in the movie. That makes sense. But this is not.
Yeah, they're just making a car. To
No,
make
they
a car.
should get like one smash cut of like one of those hangar things with the TIE fighters or whatever the fuck are in them, and there's just a rogue in the middle of it.
No, they should, because the TIE fighters are like suspended. They're always up in the air. They should have a rogue hanging from one of those, like claw things that
Just
holds
one,
the TIE
just have
fighter.
one rogue. Spam, bro.
Just like a row of TIE fighters. and
Product
then a-
placement. Get somebody with a Nissan jumper, like they're on the deck or whatever it's called, doing ship things. So bam, Nissan logo.
Why not?
Drinking a Pepsi. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah, they do
Eating
that
some
all the time.
Reese's Pieces.
yeah, they do that shit all the
Yeah,
time.
like Samsung on Jurassic
All the
World.
time.
It's everywhere.
It's that bad now? Really?
Samsung.
Let me pick up my
really bad.
Samsung phone and put it in front of my face so you
Uh-huh.
have to look at it from the camera.
Samsung and Mercedes.
I was watching, what was it? NCIS was on in the gym, and they all had like these Surface tablets like I have, and they're all like, I have to get on my computer right now, and like the computer's in front of their face, and you can see because it's got the Windows logo on the back.
The NFL does that. They are only allowed to use the Surface Pro. Or no, that's an Apple. What's the?
This is the Surface Pro.
Okay, then yeah, it's Surface Pro.
Yeah.
So they're only allowed to use that. So like when they're doing
Play-by-plays or whatever.
or no, when they're doing
Get John Madden out there, and he's
No.
circling shit.
No,
he's
no, no,
gonna
no.
run from here.
Well, actually, I think the announcers too, but like the
That was
players,
pretty good.
the players on the field, like if they're like Tom Brady sitting there holding his Surface Pro.
Oh, he can't have an iPad?
No, he has to have a Surface Pro, and then they talk about the Surface Pro, and they refer to it as the Surface Pro. So, I mean, he's just got advertisement
They probably
everywhere.
got like this guy that sits in the back and makes a tally. It's like, fuck, we got 30 minutes left, and we have to say Surface Pro 68 more times.
Yeah, probably.
I think Microsoft threw a lot of money at a lot of TV shows because you said NCIS was doing that.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Katie and I watch a show called Scorpion, and they're always hacking into government satellites on their Surface.
My
Wait,
Apple
that
can't
isn't-
do this.
That Scorpion show. Is that got like the worst acting in it you've ever seen in your entire life?
Yeah, but I really enjoy
What
it.
the fuck is up with the actors on that show?
Just the worst
like
acting.
the
but I
Asian
really,
girl
really
is
love
terrible.
that
Like
movie.
she's got like
or that show.
She's got like
Sorry.
the worst acting of all time.
I really like that show.
Some people just have bad taste.
I had an ex
I'm not going to
girlfriend.
deny that one. It's absolutely horrible
I had
acting.
I had an
He's
ex girlfriend
right.
that didn't have cable, and we didn't have anything to do one night. And we're watching the show. We're both going, "This is the stupidest fucking." It's still on. That was 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah. They renew it.
Still on network TV. It's
Yeah.
like Channel 8 or
It's being
something.
recorded on my
It's on
DVR
prime time.
every week.
Oh, it's so bad. And there's like 16 people on the cast too. It's
And-
like
and
we just
the-
put a bunch of shitty actors together. Maybe they'll make like 3 or 4 good actors.
The scenarios are just so like they're the very first one. He's in a Ferrari 458 doing 200 miles an hour on a runway, and he's like standing up because it's a spider, right? And he's standing up, and there's a plane.
There's a helicopter,
no,
a jet.
there's a
fucking F-22.
There's like a 737.
Oh my god.
And the running gears drop down, and the co-pilot is hanging off of that with an Ethernet cord, and he's got it plugged into his computer, and they're screaming down the runway,
They're hacking shit.
downloading the files off the plane so that they can bring all the rest of them safely to ground. And then at the end of the show, it's just based on real events.
No,
No, please no.
it's the worst show. Robbie, seriously, if you're bored,
out of
just Scorpion, pull it
I
up
like-
and watch it.
I
watch
like
5
bad-
minutes of it, dude.
Dude, it's on Amazon. It's out of
I like
control.
bad television as much as the next person, but I'm not watching
He liked
that.
Fastlane or whatever. He can't give
Dude,
me shit.
give me 5 minutes of it, because you'll go, how in the fuck are these people still on the television?
Watch the first one. It's
Just watch it, dude. You
fucking
have to watch
hilarious.
it.
We'll see.
You want to tear your ears off. It's so bad.
They are really bad actors, but they're kind of supposed to be because they're supposed to be really socially awkward geniuses.
No, because
I don't think that's excusable on TV.
'cause
it's like Tobey Maguire. Like
You can-
he needs to find a hole to be buried in.
yes.
He needs to go far, far away.
Well, it's like Big Bang Theory. They're all socially awkward, but they're all good actors.
That's true.
Oh, fucking
That's why they all
love
make
that
like
show.
$20 million a year.
Yeah.
It's a great show.
You guys want to wrap this show up?
I just want to make sure everybody knows I hate Tobey Maguire and he should go away. But you can move on now.
I'll back you up on that.
Okay.
So, well, that's not
He was
positive. no.
Spider-Man.
He's terrible in everything he ever does. He does the same, makes the same face all the time.
Sorry, Robbie.
Makes the same fucking
what else
face.
did he do?
He did a movie about, he did a movie about horse racing, and he's done some other movies. He's fucking terrible. He's made millions and millions and millions of dollars.
For the record, that's how I feel about Orlando Bloom.
Yeah, I'll get.
I think
He's
just
a
big-
terrible actor.
Terrible
He's a
actor. It's just a giant
hey,
pussy.
ladies, the one woman that's listening to this because her husband's listening to it on the other side of the room. Orlando Bloom is terrible. He's awful. He's terrible. He may be good to look at,
He's
but
not
we
dreamy.
can put him in the corner.
Nope,
I don't even
he's
think
not-
he's that good looking.
He's not dreamy.
He's not even that good looking. He's just
He's
got
weak.
long hair.
I don't
He
know
is
who that
weak.
is.
Guy has never been in a gym before.
He's also never been in a fight before.
That's very true. What's the name of those movies? Pirate movies. Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah,
That's
or
not
Troy.
Orlando.
He's in Troy.
Yeah, he is in that. He's in it. There's 2 dudes. You're thinking of
I'm thinking
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp,
Johnny Depp.
but there's also Orlando Bloom.
Okay, I don't know.
Hey, did you know this podcast was originally about cars?
No, we're talking about ships and
Fun
movies right now,
fact.
Robbie.
So
People enjoy our
Downloading
random
shit off the internet.
things, though.
that's probably true. We should do a movie review someday.
I think we need to, because we just steal all our bits from Jason Ellis.
Mystery Science Theater 3000.
I think honestly we should do that thing where we talk through. You know what I'm talking about? Where he talks through a movie.
That's Mystery Science Theater 3000.
No. I mean, they actually read through the plot of the movie,
God.
and then when you read through it, you realize how fucking stupid it is.
That's
And then they
not
make
bad.
jokes. Have you seen that? Have you heard? Him,
I think so, yeah.
Have you heard him do that bit before?
Yeah, at least once.
Something like Smokey and the Bandit. That would probably be like a great example of something they would do.
Ian Wright found like an original script from the first Fast
I
and
saw
the
that.
Furious movie, and
We
he
should
wrote
read-
he wrote a Car Throttle article about it. And there's a bunch of stuff that didn't make it to the movie. So bad.
I mean, the movie's pretty terrible, but
Yeah.
It's terrible, but I love it. It's still a really bad movie. Like, if you watch it as a movie, it's fucking terrible.
I still quote Too Fast, Too Furious all the time because all the terrible one-liners.
Too Fast, Too Furious was worse.
That's because it had no budget.
Did it have no budget?
By comparison.
Okay. But yeah, it was bad.
And then
I'd watch those over the newest one.
Yeah, 7's unwatchable.
Is it?
I don't think 8's going to be any better.
It won't.
Oh, well, 7's just got way too much money. There was like weird shit, just having fights on parking garages that are falling down, and
like in hypersports coming out of the 70th floor of
and crashing into other buildings. Didn't he go into another building?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like at some point, you just gotta say like, let's not do this.
we can. Let's move on.
We can do this, but let's not.
I think Robbie wants to move on,
and I want to move on with the show.
Another thing before we move on. What's next, Robbie?
We'll wrap this up with something positive. Daniel Suarez becomes the first foreign-born person to win a NASCAR championship. He won the Xfinity Series last weekend.
It's just kind of crazy. I didn't think that. Like, I know that NASCAR has always been kind of the American racing, but there's been a lot of what I thought were foreigners racing in it.
Yeah, I guess
not for like that sounds like I'm being
racist,
but I'm not trying to be that way.
Racist.
No,
but
you hear of a lot of like European drivers and stuff like all the time, and like
Juan Pablo Montoya. I don't think
he's in it.
Was he born in America? I assume he wasn't. Maybe I was making
I don't think so.
Wild assumptions that aren't true here. I guess
I don't think he was.
Maybe he didn't do as well there as I thought he did.
Juan Pablo Montoya.
Yeah, so
he did all sorts of stuff. IndyCar.
He's done F1, yeah.
But yeah, Daniel Suarez is a Mexican-born driver, and he's the first one ever to win the NASCAR Xfinity Series. So that's pretty cool. And I think it's just a matter of time before a woman wins the Xfinity Series as well, because there's a handful of them in there now. Like, it's not uncommon for a woman to be competitive.
I don't know why. I genuinely don't understand why there's not more women in racing than there are.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, not trying to be sexist, feminist, whatever, but, like, you know, I can see where there's, you know, just genetic differences. It's very hard for a lot of women to compete with a lot of men in
basketball.
More, like basketball, football, stuff like that. But racing, I mean, as long as you're in good physical cardiovascular shape, you should be just as quick as any man can be.
And in general, women are lighter than most of those racing drivers. Like, you take Tony Stewart next to Danica Patrick, you really think there's a similar weight there? Absolutely not. She weighs dramatically less.
There's a lot of very successful women in drag racing. I think that's probably the one motorsport that has the largest number of women.
Isn't there like a study that shows that they have a faster reaction time, which is dramatically
My little sister whooped my ass on the lights every race we ever went to. I mean, I have a little ADD, I'll admit it. I was always really, really bad on the lights, but my little sister was rocking good at it.
I'm sure.
So I think there's some point to that.
Juan Pablo is Colombian.
But he never won a championship.
Colombian born? No, he hasn't won a championship.
No.
But I'm surprised he hasn't given all of his, you know.
He won overall 24 hours of Le Mans like 3 times.
He's a hell of a driver.
Yeah, 24 hours of Daytona overall winner 2007, 2008, 2013.
Yeah.
He's got a really, really, really long and good record. He was in Formula 1 for 7 years.
He raced all kinds of
for
stuff.
6 years. 6 years.
Because didn't he run Indy?
Yeah, he ran.
Yep.
I can run through the list. He's raced in Indy, Champ, Formula 1, NASCAR Sprint, NASCAR Xfinity.
He's been
It's
all
kind
over.
of the who's who of major professional motorsports.
He's not done terribly well. He's only got 3 wins in NASCAR total.
Really?
That's Sprint and Xfinity. Best
But
finish.
still,
Wait a second.
getting 8 wins pretty impressive.
For being a
For being a fast guy.
and a
generally.
fairly well-known name, I would have expected him to have done a little better in
He's done
in
karting,
NASCAR.
Grand Am. Yeah, pretty crazy. Done some other stuff too. He's got a long Wikipedia page of stuff.
So you know it's factual and accurate.
It's very long.
Yeah, obviously.
lot of stuff.
But yeah, so congratulations to Daniel Suarez. I assume this is
He's
only gonna get better.
he's Mexican born, isn't he?
I just said that. If you would have been listening, I said
No,
that.
I wasn't. I was trying to look up where
He was doing
Juan
research.
Pablo was coming from. Was
Hashtag real journalists.
That's right.
I was trying to be accurate.
There's been a numerous misinformation in this show already. There's no point in trying to.
I'm just trying to dig us out of what hole we've already dug. trying to be factual.
It's good to be factual at the end. Bring it in on a high note.
I think that's it. Robbie, you got anything else?
No, I do not.
Hit up that store.
Hit up the store. It's Christmas time. Buy presents. I think that's it. Catch
Talk
you guys.
to us.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving after the
This'll
fact.
be too
Happy
late.
Thanksgiving weekend, I guess. We could say that.
Celebrate the weekend.
Sure.
Celebrate all weekend.
I know I'm not celebrating Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It's kind of inconvenient to be on a Thursday if you don't live in the same town as your family. Because I have to work on Friday.
That is not ideal.
That's not great.
So we're doing it Saturday.
Right on.
Word up. Catch you guys next week.
Deuces. Half-mast. It's the best picture. Is he a shower or a grower? I don't even know.